Hello, everybody. Welcome back watching another conversation. And today's conversation topic is how to live with excitement, how to get excited, how to be excited, and why we need to be excited. And for today's topic, I have Amanda joining us. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Parad. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, living the dream. Thanks for asking.
But that's such a like. Before I ask you to introduce yourself, that is kind of like such a generic answer, Like I was just always thinking about, like when I said it, I realized like that is such a generic answer and a question that we do.
Absolutely. However, when you hear it enough, you start to live it and you realize that you're in control of your dreams, so you can make it whatever you want. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like a progression. It goes from generic to super specific.
Yeah, I think like people like when they say it, they should actually start saying it with excitement as well. Like since we're talking with exciting, so if they tell that, like instead of just saying like automatically, I'm good, how are you? Say like great.
Yeah, switch it up.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
like say something like something silly.
right. Yeah, surprise yourself because like we just did, we chuckled, and that just does so much for body, mind, and spirit. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, now I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
All right, so hello, I am Amanda Olejarz. I'm an empowerment coach. So, how I came to that conclusion was I help people connect the dots between holistic health and spiritual wellness. I've been a licensed massage therapist since 2006, and I feel like I'm pretty good at my job. However, I was very frustrated that I was still unable to get rid of all sorts of chronic pain in people's bodies. I was feeling like a failure. So I started expanding my horizons into more holistic health stuff. And I realized that I can help people more when they process their spiritual and emotional states of being, because that manifests in the physical body. And then also when we up the sleep game and up the nutrition game, it just does so much more than me as a massage therapist could like ever push out. So it's really about empowering you in your choices and making you want to do all the right things because you know it's good. And for me, that creates excitement because like I'm the oldest I've ever been and I'm the best I've ever been physically. And
Mm-hmm.
that's beautiful. And that's not something that you hear every day. So every day I get out of bed, I'm like, cool, how am I going to move? Like, what am I going to do? And there's people like I used to be that like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of bed? It doesn't create that moment of excitement. And if that's how you're waking up, it's hard to like bounce back. However, when you're doing everything that you can control, that you want to do, it goes hand in hand with that self-empowerment, that self-love, and then starting your day off good. Like it's so good.
Mm-hmm. And that makes me think as well, like massage is such an important thing. I was like, when I get a massage, it feels so good, you know?
Absolutely. There's a lot of those, ooh, I didn't know that hurt right there spots. And those are super important because like I said, emotions live in the body, spiritual like pseudo evolutions live in there, or like different things that you need to evolve in or start changing. For instance, like I had low back pain my entire life, and that's totally related to the root chakra, that sense of safety, well being, security. And as soon as I kind of realized that, I wasn't just trying to push it out physically because massage helped a lot. Stretching was very, very good. However, it was just not enough. Once I started learning those spiritual lessons, it helped so much more and for like no good reason either. So it was like, all right, this is fun. However, then I upped my sleep game and was like, okay, now I'm giving my body an actual physical chance to heal. And benefits of that were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But you layer it again, and I upped my nutrition game, thinking like it was the best I was going to feel before. And to this day, for the last 3 years, I've been feeling like I have a new body that's getting younger and younger every day.
Mm-hmm.
However, it all started with those spiritual lessons, and each and every one of those helped me to feel physically better. And yeah, I feel like you can't put a price tag on that per se because it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking, like talking about it right now. I was thinking, can you imagine if the doctors will prescribe massages?
That would be amazing.
It would
There's
be like
some,
covered with the health insurance or something, and like I can just imagine how much better people would feel.
yeah. So some of them do. You can ask your doctor. Absolutely. And then some insurance companies do. I highly recommend looking into it, calling them up. One more thing with that, I actually used to work at a clinic, and we used to be suitably with a doctor, specifically a surgeon. His people were getting better to the point where they didn't need surgery anymore. So they stopped going to him. So they stopped referring clients to us because then they weren't getting clients.
Mm-hmm.
So massage has tremendous effects if you're getting the right kind of therapy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so as well. That's probably why they don't subscribe it, because it does help more than the pills or the things. Sometimes, not always. So you have to like know the difference, but that will definitely will help along.
Absolutely. I feel like if massage therapy was more a firsthand kind of thing before everything else, see if this helps. And if it's not working, we try something else after, like put that right in front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
That would be super cool. That
Mm-hmm.
would change a lot of lives.
Mm-hmm. But there's so many other things you do with align with the massage. So like, what are the other things you help with?
Yeah, so I do energy work, specifically Chios, which I call Reiki on crack. It works with the chakras and the auras of the body. And then I kind of blend it with the intuitive body process. I love the intuitive body process because it was actually the modality that got me out of pain.
What
But
is
it's
it? Can you explain a little bit about it?
yeah, so it's actually like using the wisdom that your body has already inside of it, asking it to answer. So we go through just kind of turning off your mind, sinking back into your body, and then asking it questions about like how life could be easier, how it wants to move and flow, and then allowing it to respond in whatever way that is. And sometimes I don't know how much energy work you've experienced, but the answers are a little puzzle like. So
Mm-hmm.
it's fun to trace down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, depending on how many people I have in a day, there's a lot of commonalities that come in. And so often it's like a dual message. So I'm reading for somebody else. They're also like receiving messages for me, and the messages that I'm receiving are for me as well. I'm like, this is awesome. It's the best two
Mm-hmm.
forever.
Yeah, I do some different type of energy work as well. Like I do access bars, which is energy, yeah, which is energy work on like Reiki, but you just do it on like a head,
Hmm.
just using the points in your head for like Reiki different type. And it's funny, like you said, you're feeling the same things that the person's going through. Like I had one time I had a client who was studying for exams, and I felt like after I was done with the process, I felt like I've been studying forever. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel you studies all over me. My head is like full, like feels like I've been like studying some kind of mathematics or something for an hour.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's
So,
fun.
yeah, it's interesting how the energy comes from one person to another, and that's same with like if we go to our topic, excitement. That is so contagious.
Yes. And I really wish I would have learned that earlier, especially in my massage like therapy career, because I'm right up in people's auras and their body spaces all of the time. And I never realized up until my old age that I was absorbing all of the negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a massage therapist. However, when people are on my table, they're naked or nearly naked, which means they're super vulnerable. They're trusting me with a lot. Guess what comes out with that? Deepest, darkest secrets. Everything they cannot talk to anybody else. So I was absorbing all of that, which made me not very excited for so
Mm-hmm.
many years. Honestly, I had a near death experience in 2016, and I saw every single little thing that I did to create a life of just trauma and trauma. So in that moment, I knew I had to change. So excitement really helped me out because it lifted my spirits. It lifted me out of super dark places. Even if it was starting to get excited to go like shower,
Mm-hmm.
silly something, it helps so much. Like all of your physical. And this is one of the things that I super loved about Tony Robbins is he makes your body feel excited. He makes you get up and dance and shake. And that does so much to relieve stress, tension, and just get your vibes high, get you out of a bad state of mind. Because consciously, like your brain waves can determine what kind of thoughts you're going to have. And your body being excited or even happy, just like something to be grateful for, cultivating that gratitude will get you out of a bad spot a little bit quicker, a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Like I was just thinking, even like you just being in the room and you just go around and just like do silly stuff, move around and just be silly. That would
Mm-hmm.
get you like you said, Tony Robbins, and that would just get you like all like body moving, energy moving, the room's getting energy, everything's getting energy. So it's so different from that point where you were before. But it takes like a little bit of like push to make yourself to do it.
Absolutely, which is why I love like the difference between compliance and adherence. Compliance is doing something because you're told, like the doctor tells you to eat an apple every day because it's good for you. Then you do it, it's annoying, but then you realize it works, and then you're doing it because you want to, because you know it's going to feel good. That's adherence. So you start off by making yourself uncomfortable, right? Getting out of your comfort zone, doing the little hey,
Mhm.
oh, hey. And then eventually it turns into like you want to do it. People are like picking up on that. You're helping them up too. And then it's just like a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I saw a video of like the one that you were doing. Also, you were doing aerial yoga.
Yeah. So aerial yoga is one of the things that saved me when I was in chronic pain. I had aerial yoga trapeze installed in my living room so that I
Ooh.
can hang upside down like Batman to elongate my spine because I had lordosis and degenerative discs. And that just meant that my low back curved too much. So I was trying to pull it down, stretch it out. That thing helped me gain 1.5 inches back in my height, elongated my
Wow.
stomach. So, like, I was at a computer a lot. It helped me, like, to get up. Um, and this was before I knew the benefits of ab massage. But yeah, I have a girlfriend who's an aerial yoga instructor. So, we actually were putting on a ferry event. So we were flying around, going upside down, doing some stretches. Aerial is so good. And the thing that I super like about it, especially in my old age, is it's very minimal pressure on your joints. It's literally like you're free flowing. And it's just so amazing. And there's this one move we do where you get all cocooned in, and it's like the biggest hug, and then you stretch out and go back. So it's like you're a butterfly. There's something so freeing about it. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Did you really say like you gained 1.5 inches
Mm-hmm.
in your height? I never
Yeah.
heard that before. That's really amazing.
Yeah, so I used to be 5'7" at my tallest, and then I was working overnight, 12 hours a night, about 4 to 6 days a week, 10 hours for in front of a computer, and I was only standing for like two. But I shrunk and I didn't realize how much. And then I was working at the hospital, so I had access to what is the measurement thing? Help me out, ruler or whatever, and like the
Yeah.
good one. So I was consistently measuring myself, and I was like, holy cow, this thing's actually working. So I wound up going from 5'5.5" to 5'6 3/4" on that right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. I have no idea exactly how, but yeah, just the inversion. I was doing it every day for only about maybe a minute max, just because all the blood flows goes to your head. Uh, yeah, it was the easiest
Did you
thing.
know that that's gonna do that, or that was something that you noticed?
I mean, that was something that I noticed. I'm not sure of any studies out there. However, the chiropractors have inversion therapy sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like the yoga trapeze, I feel, is a lot less pressure on all of you, like all of your body. Because in that thing, you're strapped in, you're kind of constrained. And in this, you can actually like let your arms up too, and you're still being held. So you're getting that stretch from like the pelvis region. You're getting it in between your rib cage and your hips. You're getting it all throughout here, and it's opening up your chest too. So I feel like the yoga trapeze is much easier to do. However, if you're doing it right, and of course, breathing is good, I can't see why it wouldn't help just because it's kind of like what I do with massage therapy. We elongate the soft tissue, the fascia, and that's exactly what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. But like, let's talk about like for the viewers, like what are some kind of simple things in a daily life with how to get excited.
Hey, yes. So I feel like the one that's simple is switching the I have to I get to. And even if you're saying it like pouty little kid, like I get to do the dishes like I used to, I recognized like the little kid in me. And I started laughing. I'm like, Amanda, you're like 33 years old. You're acting like a 4-year-old right now. That's kind of entertaining. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, all right, well, how do I act my age then? And I'm like, big girl pants. Let's go do the dishes. I get to do the dishes right now.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's cultivating a funny story around something that you don't necessarily want to do. Yeah, and I feel like the kitty
Few
agrees. Can you
things.
hear her?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, switching the I have to I get to, even if it's paying the bills. You get to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
think so as well. Like instead of and you were saying like acting like a kid. I think on a lot of those things we should like let the age go completely. Like okay, it doesn't it kid, not kid, adult. Just because I'm older now, or like people who are like really like well, I don't say old, but like 70s, 60s, like that doesn't matter that now you're not allowed to do fun things anymore and you're not allowed to like you just have to be old and walk slowly and do all those things. You have to be as kid minded as long as possible because that gets your body keeps your body younger as long as possible too.
absolutely. And I'd love to share a story. I actually started massaging the older community a bunch of years ago. I've been seeing my favorite ladies, as I call them, I believe for like 13 years. And my oldest client is actually going to be 97, June
Wow.
24th. Yeah. Um,
97, that's
97.
100.
Yes, she's one of the most beautiful souls that I've ever known. So I always ask her because at this point in the game, we're just complete friends. We talk on the phone, we crochet together. Because I ask her, I'm like, what's the secret to life all the time? I'm like, how are you where you're at? She's
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to look forward to something. You have to have a hobby and you have to do that hobby for somebody else or anybody else. So you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it for you and you're doing it for others. You're of service to yourself and you're of service to other people around you. It's community and individual. And I'm like, that is genius. But yeah, no, one of the things that I love about this lady and all of my ladies is the fact that they do the things that make them feel like a little kid. They're going to the pool in the summer to get in the water. They're looking forward to going to X, Y, and Z. They're like, ooh, I get to go and grocery shop. I get to
Mhm.
walk around in the store. I get to walk around in the neighborhood today because there's so many people that don't have that ability that need to be pushed around,
Mhm.
especially like the older you get and you start comparing yourself to others, which is not something we're supposed to do. However, you can't help but look and be like, oh my goodness, that could be me, like walking with a cane or a walker or falling consistently. However, I'm still able to drive. I still get to do all these things. It's a beautiful day.
That's why it's important for me as well to like make sure that I keep the mobility, like because I want to. Well, like one of my goal things is like I want to live to 103 at least
I love it.
in my mind. So and that's why I like, but to have a quality life in that age, you have to make sure beforehand that you're gonna keep on being like active and moving around, and your mind has to be really, like I was saying, your mind has to be young. You don't have to put that number ever in your age anywhere.
No. And I was actually walking the forest one day. I think it was last year, actually. I met a 98-year-old man in the forest, and I asked him what the secret to life was because he was still driving. I had no idea how old he was either. He presented like he was much younger.
Mm-hmm.
He told me you have to walk and talk every day. Walking helps to get your body moving, and the talking helps you to stay out of your head. But at the same time, they help each other too. So walking can help you get out of your head, and talking can help your body. Like
Mm-hmm.
you want to get up and move because sometimes I don't know about you, but I get really, really sick of telling the same story over and over again. It's like, no, no, I'm done. I'm just gonna get
Mm-hmm.
up and either walk out or just like change the mood, do something.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like conversations, because with the conversations you don't have to just tell the story. You can change up like and have like different topics and talk about different things, not always the same story.
Right.
It's like it like and that's not another thing as well, to being curious, you know.
Yeah. Curiosity, I feel like, especially in energy work, it's the big word. Like, release that judgment, get rid of the filter, stay open. Because I know I grew up Catholic and very, very closed minded. I became atheist, closed off to everything. So when I had hypnosis done for the first time, I stayed curious. And what happened next was like beyond me. However, if I would have kept like my old judgment filters on, I would have been talking myself out of it. Like, no, that didn't happen. No, that wasn't real. No, it doesn't mean anything. There's no synchronicity there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, curiosity, it
Yeah.
didn't necessarily kill the cat. Cats have 9 lives. It's
Mm-hmm. Because you get to experience so much more things and it's more fun, and you're like, wow, is that true? And like you say, like those experiences that you're going through, it's like sometimes they are really unreal. They feel
Mhm.
unreal because they're not something that like naturally occurs. But when you get in that mindset or like hypnosis where your mind is just wandering, it's just like wanders in those energy spaces, and it connects to other energies and everything like this. So I've had some really cool experiences with different. I've not done hypnosis, but I've done a lot of like energy and like guided meditations or just meditations, and it's just so cool.
Yeah.
One thing that I tried as well was yoga nidra.
Okay.
Have you tried yoga nidra?
I have not. How was it?
That was really cool as well. That's what I had like a really cool experiences as well. Like it felt like I'm like in a different. I'm not here. Like in like
Mhm.
some kind of energy floating level, because I was doing. I was learning how to do yoga nidra taras, which is like pretty much like you're awake, but you're in that sleeping stage. So
Mhm.
it's like sleeping yoga. So it's kind of like you get right to that point where you like naturally, if you were going to be sleeping, that point where you about to fall asleep. But with yoga nidra, you're not allowed to fall asleep. So you actually stay awake and you're just floating at that area where you're like thoughts already like seeing dreams, not seeing dreams. They're like you're awake, you're not awake. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
And it's because I was doing like the online course on it. So what I had to do, like I did like some days I did like 3 hours of it. I think that's why I got like such an extreme experience as well, because I was like 3 hours straight, like just doing like like that. I was in that stage, so it's so cool. You have to try it next.
Absolutely. That sounds right up my alley.
You'll like it. And take like some long ones. Like I think they're like the shortest one. They did 10 minutes, but you can take like up to an hour or even longer things. And they have videos on YouTube for that as well.
Oh, that's so fun. I will definitely be checking it out now. That
Mhm.
sounds so cool.
Yeah, and that's with the excitement. You just have to find different things, and it's just like try it. If you don't like it, stop it right there. Like, okay, that's not for me.
Right. It's really not that hard to do. And
Hmm.
I feel like the biggest difference between adults and children is children have that sense of curiosity naturally. Like turning it off is a learned behavior. So when we stay curious, we're also embracing our inner children too. So it's a big twofer.
Hmm. And I was thinking right now when I was saying that if you don't like it, then you can just stop doing it. Like you go back to the kids, they can drop something in like moment of like seconds. Like they play. Next thing is like done, and they somewhere else. Like what
Yeah,
just happened?
just like that. You're like, how do you do that? And they're like, do what? It's like beautiful.
Don't even like think like they were just like, okay, I'm done playing with this toy now. Like I'm just gonna go away. Like it seems like because we as adults we kind of learn that some situation we do have to finish. Like if it's work or something, we have to finish the task. But if it's something that we're doing just for ourselves and we don't enjoy it anymore, we don't have to finish it.
Right. Wait until it's going to be fun again. Because
Yeah.
now you're in that I have to state. No, you don't have to do anything. Nobody's making you do anything.
Hmm.
Wait until you
Like you
get to
say,
do
I
it.
get to.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
if you like go to the gym and it's like, okay, I get to work out, and like let's say in some moment you feel like, okay, I'm done with this for today, then you leave, but like you got to do it like 10 minutes, or then next time 20 minutes and 30 minutes, or then again you feel only 10 minutes some other day. So I
Yeah.
like this get to attitude.
Attitude is everything. I did sales, business to business, long time ago. I only did it for like a year and a half. However, I did it when I was still a scared little baby, right? Except I
Hmm.
was, I think, 31. So I was
Hmm.
old too. Um, I didn't realize how much your attitude shows on your face and how much other people project on you and from you
Hmm.
until I started communicating with 100 people, 200 people, sometimes 300 people a day. And I had my attitude shoved back in my face. When I had crap attitude, I didn't sell nothing, which means I didn't make no money, which means I couldn't make bill payments and everything like that, which was unacceptable. So I had to learn how to control my attitude really, really quick and be able to drop stuff kind of in the blink of an eye or much quicker than it used to take me, like hours, days, weeks, months, never.
Hmm. Well, go back, like, were you excited all that now when you said like about that time of your life? Were you excited all the time, or you learned it,
So
or
I feel like
and learn it, relearned it?
relearn definitely. However, even when I was angry and just complete opposite person of who I am right now, I was an adrenaline junkie. So I used to thrive off of that, like just adrenaline, that sheer, like, yeah, let's go and do it. So it's a different sense of excitement. It was more a little forced. And I feel like it came from, yeah, more of my body instead of just me actually wanting to do it. So that's the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Like where people say that they have to be motivated, and like now we are relearning that no, when you start doing, then you get motivated. It doesn't the motivation. Not all, sometimes it is before, but most of the time I think it's still like it's after you start doing it, then the motivation comes to from that.
Yeah. And I feel like we could use a door analogy, right? So sometimes you try to push a pull door and it doesn't work out. And that's like the, ooh, I want to do it motivation, right? You got to try something different, but we're standing there doing the same thing, waiting for this a different result. We're in the insanity loop. We go to the door after that, and it's like, all right, well, that one didn't work that way. Let's try it the opposite way. Except this time it's a pull door and we're trying to push and we're getting frustrated.
Okay.
So going back to sales, the mindset, we have to have the same mindset at each door.
Mm-hmm.
This is like kind of science experiment stuff. You have to have the control. So be like, okay, we're gonna go. We're pushing on a pull door. It's not working here. Let's try this other door. We're gonna pull it, see what happens, and then just kind of go back. It's almost, I guess, like an
Mm-hmm.
algorithm, but we're gonna get the right one. We just have to be doing it. We have to be in that right mindset and stay in that curiosity because eventually it's gonna happen. Subconscious says so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like you have to find like if the one way doesn't, like you said with the doors,
Mm-hmm.
just go to the next thing. You just try the same. That's why I learned as well, like not to dwell on situations because like as soon as like something didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen or I thought it will happen, it's just like maybe I do like not anymore. I already practiced it so long, so like I do it right away. But before, like, stop for a second, take deep breath. It's like, okay, readjustment. So this is not happening. Maybe there's a reason why it's not happening. Maybe there's not a reason why it's not happening. But now what I'm gonna do? So I don't stay in that, like where before I did, and a lot of people they do is like, oh, now all day is ruined because this didn't happen. No, it was just the moment, didn't happen, has nothing to do with the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm. It's like, how much are you going to let that 10 seconds of life affect hours of your day?
Or sometimes even some people have it like affect them for days, years. Years later, they talk about something that happened and they're just like, oh, that was so bad. I still regret it, or something like this. Like, well, maybe you're regretting it, like, okay, but don't carry it with you. Like, just there's no point of even regretting anything like what you can change, You just
Right.
accept it because we can't change anything from the past.
No, physically, no. I do feel like you can go back and rewrite your story, and whatever story you're going to tell yourself is going to be your truth, right? So you could go back, and if you've done the work and you've figured out the reason that you were there and you know like what you want to change, you could put yourself in that situation, suitably relive it, and then change what you would change, have a different outcome. And then sometimes everything is just let go and it's just like dropped. And all of a sudden you have a new story of empowerment. And then it leaves your physical body too, which is even cooler.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. So, beside you have so many other things as well with your energy work, with your massage, with aerial therapy. What are the some other tools? I'm thinking more of like mental tools that like with uh, thoughts that we can use for excitement.
Yeah. So, mm, let's start without the thought first, because sometimes thoughts are hard. We do just need a quick distraction.
Okay.
Figure out something that will distract your mind from it. Because again, we're trying to go from compliance to adherence, right? So if I'm just saying all sorts of good stuff, I'm not necessarily going to want to do it. So when I was in sales and I used to get in a bad mood, I used to either watch videos of my cat to make me happy and laugh, or I would watch pimple popping videos because I don't know why I love pimple popping, everything about it. Oh, I could talk about it for days. But you got to find something to kind of make you laugh, make you chuckle. Remember that everything inside of like your bubble is yours, and everything outside of that is for your entertainment. So it's happening for you instead of against you. So kind of getting out of that with laughter of some way or sparking some kind of emotion to help you want to go forward and move on. And
Mhm.
then when I do have a negative thought, I feel like it's been so long. It's more questioning its authority. It's like, no, because I know who I am, right?
Mhm.
And I'm pretty awesome. Where are you coming from? Are you mine? Are you somebody else's? Because, like we were talking about earlier, we can pick up on what other people are thinking
Yep.
too. So I didn't know what being an empath was until I think it was lockdown. I was like, oh, okay. Well, this explains a lot. I know that a lot of times I was picking up on either what somebody or a group of people were thinking more as a whole or as the collective. So when I question, like, is this mine or is this not? It
Mhm.
really helped me to separate. And I know I got into a very heated discussion. Well, it was heated on his end, my neighbor. It was not heated on mine, but my heart started racing. And I was like, what is going on?
Mhm.
So I closed my eyes and I asked, I'm like, is this mine? And the answer was no. My heart stopped beating super intense. That kind of like shot out of my body, if you will. And then I calmed down, but it was like I gave it back to him. It was just because my
Mhm.
neighbor was thinking with charged emotion, negative emotion, and it was so strong it came back to me. And I understand this is a spiritual concept. However, it's a very, very, very big thing because energy does do that.
Mhm. And that's really important to notice that, like, if it's somebody else's, it comes to you as well. Because I have like sometimes like some kind of like thoughts come to like worries or anxiety, like not like negative thoughts about myself. It's some kind of worries or thoughts like come to my mind that are like they don't relate to my values or anything. And it's just like canceling them out like no, that's not my same way, like that's not my thought, that's I don't believe in it, I don't, that's just like just go away. And you have to learn to talk with your thoughts.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, they're just thoughts. And the
Mhm.
thoughts that we think about become things. They live in our body, they're in our subconscious. And whatever is in our subconscious is going to manifest right in front of you. It's just going to be a matter of time and commitment. And negative thoughts are imbalanced thoughts because sometimes they're just messed up. They're not always like negative or toxic, they're just really like heavy.
Mhm.
They're so dense that they're easy to think of. And misery loves company, right?
Mhm.
Being massage therapist, I heard all of the bad things about people more often than not. I rarely ever heard the good things because hardly anybody wants to brag. But it's like I'm not bragging to like show off. I'm bragging because I'm excited because
Yeah,
I
I
had
love
this.
bragging. I tell people do it, like when they start bragging, it's like brag and brag, and I'm like telling myself as well, bragging. I think the old misconception that the bragging is not good, it's wrong. You have to brag.
Well, yeah, it's about saying it with your chest, saying it from a place of love and being excited that you accomplished something.
Hmm.
And a lot of people aren't living up to their full potential, like myself included. But this is the call out, right? And when you're around somebody that is, it's intimidating. It's like, oh, my heart, like I could be doing this, but I'm not. So I'm jealous of this person and I don't want them to. It's like, whoa, no. Like you got to get excited for them because that's going to raise you. You're going to be more like them. We're a product of the 5 people we hang out with most. So instead of hanging out with pity party misery, you're hanging out with the people that are going to help you to get there so that now you're that person. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm. What I have, like, I wrote a book, but like in my book, I explain as well with the jealousy, with the way jealousy is like, I disconnect it. I tell people to disconnect the jealousy from the person. So you're not actually jealous of that person. You're jealous of either what they have or what they do. So you could disconnect it. Like you're not gonna say I'm jealous of her. It's like you just notice that, oh, they have something what I want, or they are doing something that I want, and maybe in the future I'm gonna be able to do same thing, or like I should find a way to do the same thing. This way, like you don't, like some people carry negative feeling towards a person that they think they're jealous of,
Mhm.
and but then you have to understand they they be happy for them to have it, and understand that maybe you find a way to have it as well, but like disconnect that feeling from the person.
Yeah, and the word namaste comes to mind. Like you are me and I am you. So jealousy could be a good thing because you're recognizing yourself in that person. So that means that you can attain it too. It just
Hmm.
means that you haven't gotten there yet, and that's somewhere that you want to go. So maybe let's go explore this a little bit more.
Hmm.
Like turn that into a different kind of fuel, a creation that's going to be for your good, the highest good of all, and just everybody in general. That's exciting in itself because when you can change the story of being jealous, which is dense state, really negative, right? Or
Hmm.
imbalanced, and you change it to that of empowerment, you claim your power, you show people like, yeah, this is what I've been through. And it's super strong and it's showing, I don't know, just how powerful you actually are. It's like, yeah, I let this happen, but I switched the story. Not everybody can do that, which is why we're here.
Yeah, and it takes practice, and that's the thing.
Mhm.
Well, like, it doesn't, like, it's not gonna happen right away with everything. All those things is, so you can't just say make a goal that, okay, I'm never gonna be jealous of people again, and then you think it's gonna happen like right away. No, it's just like you notice it next time, and then you practice it. You'll notice it that the third time, fourth time, fifth time, whatever, like 20 times, however it takes. You just first have to notice that that's what you're doing with anything else as well. Like when you feel down, you notice it, and then you try to like find either you like take some time to feel that feeling,
Mhm.
or if you don't want to feel that feeling at all, then you just find a way to get out of that feeling right away.
Yeah, and agreement 4, always do your best, comes to mind. I don't know if you've read the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel
I
Ruiz.
I did. Okay. So let's
Yeah,
pick one.
so always do your best reminds us that our best changes daily, if not hourly or minutely, based on how we're feeling. Our best looks different when we are healthy and able and flowing than it does when we are sick or ill or compromised or imbalanced in some kind of way. So recognizing that too, like sometimes your best is here and other times it's here. It's like sometimes we're pushing to get here, but we're really only here. Like this is our capacity.
Hmm.
And that's huge. Nobody likes to be compromised or imbalanced, but life happens. It does. And being able to surrender to that will help you to get over it, let it go a little bit quicker too. So
Hmm.
knowing where you're at is huge.
Hmm. What I liked in that book as well, the first rule was their your rule book. Actually, the rules.
Mhm.
It's funny because one of the person that I know, like that always like brings out that book.
Mhm.
but then already like goes so much against that first rule. We're like having rules because she has so many rules for herself or everybody else. Like this book actually tells you to notice those rules and understand that like a lot of those rules are not beneficial for you.
Right, absolutely. And I'm actually a brain health coach too.
Mhm.
Dr. Daniel Amen is one of the most amazing people on the face of the planet, in my opinion.
What kind of coach thing?
A brain health coach.
Brain health.
Yeah, so we studied blood flow patterns of the brain, what it means, and like how it reacts and manifests in the body, and then different ways that you can help naturally, holistically, and then sometimes with medication to, up the game. So the imbalance is more balanced and all the blood is going where it's supposed to go instead of triggering negative emotions.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so what do you start talking about that story?
Um, oh my goodness, what we were just talking about.
You were so, like before I cut you off. I like wanted to like know what was it, but you start to tell some kind of story about it.
Yeah. So in Dr. Amen's course, he describes all of these negative thoughts. Oh, my baby's here. And it's funny because Kitty's got anxiety. She's like one of the only cats in the world that does.
I wish mine would have been right here as well. Like she has not seen other cats in the screen, so.
Oh, I know it's kind of sad. So Dr. Amen calls these thoughts, these negative thoughts that we have, automatic negative thoughts. And he relates them to the acronym ANTS. So it's
Uh-huh.
squishing the ants, and they come in different types. I'm not going to get into all of the types, but
Mhm.
long story long, you have to find different ways to counter those types of thoughts that you have. And when you put it into like a little game, like little kid, keep that curiosity, create that excitement. It's like, yeah, I get to step on this anthole, not realizing like, how terrible that can be. It's just like, yeah, let's get it, squish, squish. And I know when I was doing it, like I started making a list. I'm like, yeah, I got rid of all of these ants today. This was amazing. Woohoo. And eventually, like the list grew shorter and shorter. However, it was still like, yeah, progress, something to look forward to. Like, I get to squish these ants. And then it was more of, all right, well, what do you do without the ants? You put in a little more positive stuff,
Ooh,
which is
I
where
like that.
mantras come in.
Yeah, I really like that. You had a list and it's just like taking them one by one and start squishing them. I like that.
Yeah. Because, like, at the end of the day, are you the worst person on the face of the planet? No. Are you the ugliest? No. Are you the most terrifying? No. Absolutely not. You're none of those things. In fact, you're the opposite of it. And the second that you can see it and like truly feel it in your body, I feel like that just helps you to create excitement all the time because then you're excited to be yourself and you're like, yes, how do I give like my individuality, my uniqueness, my gift to the world so that it can help benefit other people too? So it helps this introvert get excited to go outside into the world.
Oh, you're an introvert?
Yeah, I'm an extroverted introvert.
Because I would never like. That's what I'm thinking. Like I would never say that.
If I'm around big crowds, it's like, oh, bummer. If I'm in a little crowd and I forget about everybody else outside, it's much easier.
Hmm.
But honestly, like I'm a big old empath. I'm clairsentient as heck. So it's a lot about like the energy bouncing back and forth. So thank you for having good energy, Brett. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you as well. I like that's why I'm the same way. Like I enjoy it because it gets like we're on a camera, but I still like I feel it comes true because we both feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's what I'm saying. When you're around excited people like to be around excited people, and people who want it, they try to be around them as well. Because
Right.
it's like so many things gets done, so many they having fun and other things. Same way, like you were saying before, and I wanted to make comment about that, like where the misery likes misery. And that's like so many times when like you meet somebody who likes just complaining and they're just like just they're in that complaining mindset and they're always complaining. or they try to find something to complain about, they a lot of times they don't get with the excitement. I think they would have to learn some other way. But if they see that you don't start complaining with them, they kind of feel like out of their element, and they leave your like leave from like go somewhere else and go find somebody who they can complain what.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they like, okay, now they with somebody who understands they're complaining. And that's important as well for other people, I think, to, if they don't want to have that kind of energy, they just have to, like, if they do have to listen to it in that moment, just put some kind of boundary there, like you do with the massages when you're like getting somebody's like negative energy. So put some kind of boundary there so it doesn't come like you there, but you kind of not there. So it doesn't
Yeah.
affect you. Or if possible, with those people who are complaining, just like, it's different when they telling something and they're trying to find advice, or they complaining just to complain. That's the difference as well.
Right. And there's a big old difference between complaining and venting because each and every one of us
Yes.
needs the space to be able to get stuff
Hmm.
off our chest.
Yeah.
Literally let the emotions out, let the words out, let it out of your body, let it out of your head. Give it to the earth, transmute it.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
yours to carry.
Venting and complaining, it's good that you brought that word out because that is completely different things.
Yes. Cuz like I was kind of saying earlier, sometimes I get sick of hearing the same story over and over again. It's like, I don't want to talk about this. I've already healed. I'm over it. Like,
Hmm.
let's continue to move forward in life. That's already so long ago. It's
Hmm.
done.
Yeah, exactly. And I like, venting is, and that's why I was just now started thinking. Venting is when you want to get rid of it, you get it out. Complaining is when you don't want to get rid of it, you want to hold on to it, and just like help get keep yourself in that box. So that's the difference. Venting, like they might sound similar, but their goals are different. One is just like get rid of it, get it out, get rid of it. Another one is just like, oh, let's keep it here. I feel good about like when everything is bad, and it makes me feel.
She agrees too.
So that's hard to, for me, it's hard to, like, I kind of understand because of the work I do. Like, I try to understand it and I try to point it out and make them aware of it and try to find the ways to change. Like, and that's a good word. Like, actually, now when you said the word venting, I think that would be a good way to tell them, like, instead of complaining, learn to vent.
Mm-hmm.
Say it
And
out loud and get it. Yep, what you said.
I just feel like when you vent, and then you're able to heal from the story, there's like a line. And all of this before was venting, and now when you're telling it, if it's still negative, that's where the complaining starts. However, if you go up and then over and you're telling it in like a healed perspective, you're on that new step, and it's like, okay, you're at a new thing. And then keep going, use the same analogy until the story is no longer haunting you, it's only good. And
Hmm. And you can leave it and go on and like do all that fun
yeah.
things. Hmm. Yeah, we're getting closer to like the end as well for an hour. Goes fast. So let's first give some information about what you do and like how people can approach you. Put your website out here as well, and
Yeah.
what to like connect you for.
So I do a whole bunch of different things. I do energy work online. I do life coaching, holistic health coaching. But the difference between me and my coaching is this little thing right here. It's called the Healy. So it's a frequency device. And long story long, it's amazing technology that I have. So what I do is I program into this computer program, and it will we'll put a goal statement in. It'll give us a whole list and relate it to different energy centers of the things that you have to do in order to heal or balance those so that you can get that goal statement. And then it also emits personalized frequencies to your aura. So it's kind of like coaching on crack. So
Wow,
that's
that's something new. I have not heard about that.
yeah, it's really fun, and I have 3 of them. They're safe for animals. You can use them on organizations, businesses, actually plants too, anything outside. I actually, like I said, I have 3, so I use it for the collective every so often. The cool thing with these is it helps to program things a little quicker in your subconscious. There's also energy analysis that I do with these as well. So it just kind of gives you a whole list of things that you can do yourself to balance out your energy centers. Along with my coaching, we do all things holistic. So we're going to get you back into wanting to eat a little bit healthier. I
I think that
embrace
you were like one of the things in your website was that vegan eating or
Yeah. So I've been vegetarian my entire life. It's one of the things that I battled with my parents as a child, like heated arguments, discussions. They even tried to put me outside in a tornado one day. I was like, no, I'm not eating this meat in front of my face. I'd rather get sucked up. They're like, wow. They didn't accept it until I was like 30 something. So it was really rough. However, I feel like one of the main benefits, even when I was in pain, I was still able to move a lot better than a lot of people. And ever since I got my nutrition degree, it's been because I've eaten more raw food, like salads. Everywhere's got a salad.
Mhm.
So I've been embracing veganism, and the benefits on my body are just awesome. And I'm not saying, hey, let's all go vegan. Saying, hey, let's incorporate some more like alive foods because you are what you eat. So if we're eating dead stuff all the time that's been cooked all day, that's not exactly going to give us the most alive body. So if we start eating just a little bit of stuff that's going to make us want to live, thrive from the inside, it's going to be really beneficial for our life. And
Mhm.
then another thing that we have to do every day, we have to eat, we have to sleep too, right?
Mhm.
I'm a registered polysomnography technologist, so I do all things sleep. I have a degree in sleep technology. So we're going to get you into like a healthy sleep pattern, having morning routines, night routines, using different things to help make your sleep habit an actual sleep sanctuary. Because it's
Mhm.
so important to have all the good surroundings because you're doing that for a good chunk of time, right?
Mhm.
When we're in the kitchen, we make sure that everything is nice, neat, organized. Our sleep space needs to be the same. And it's super
Mhm.
important, even though a lot of us put it off.
Mhm. That's very cool. And is this the website has most of the things just to connect with everything?
Yeah, absolutely. My website has it all. And then you can also send me a message on there too. We've got a contact info at the bottom.
Yeah, and I also yeah, I have all the descriptions and everything in the bottom for links with everything that you do. So that's cool as well. But give us some ending thoughts about how to live with excitement.
Oh, closing thoughts to be excited. Hmm. Yeah, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because I feel like if somebody told me I was going to be this excited just naturally all of the time, I would have looked at them like they were crazy.
Mhm.
However, there was something in me that stayed curious, and lo and behold, this is just how I am. So if you
Mhm.
think you can get more excited, or if you think you can find more excitement in the mundane, like go and get it. Because once it's really in there, once your body can feel it, it's going to happen. And then all of those other days are just going to like fade
Mhm.
away.
And when you said when your body has it, like when your body experiences it, that made me think of when your body experiences it, it just wants more.
Yes, yes,
You know, start
absolutely.
looking out for like how to get more of that.
That's why you can't dance alone. As soon as somebody starts dancing, everybody's starting. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, what I do with all the guests, I always ask, what's your personal understanding of what is happiness?
Ooh, of happiness.
Your
Hmm.
personal view.
So I feel like happiness to me is like finding that excitement, finding that joy in anything and everything. Like what makes me happy isn't the same all the time. So it's knowing that some days it's waking up and like giving a big stretch. Sometimes it's waking up and like, yeah, let's get the day going like right now. But it's just that enjoying the moment, enjoying what I'm doing now. I feel like that's really what happiness is to me.
I like that. And the other one is, like just say a few things, like simple things that make you feel happy. Like things or people or actions.
Yeah.
Simple.
Dancing, my Bengal babies, and then my two favorite people in the world, who's also the oldest person that I know.
That's awesome. It's always good to point out the things that make you happy, because then if you know, then you get to like knowingly enjoy and um, feel that feeling. That's important.
Yeah, and it's easier to recognize than law of attraction. You're going to keep it back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, we're gonna finish up our hour. We had really good conversation with Amanda, and hopefully everybody gets to be more excited and learn some tools how to bring more excitement to their life, and just find what makes you excited. Try it out, and you're gonna start liking it. You're gonna automatically just try to find more ways to feel it. After you try one time, you're gonna just want it more, and you'll find more ways to be excited as well. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Perrette. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Look for some more episodes and subscribe, and enjoy your day. Bye.